Hi, so I'd like to do a quick example of consumer surplus with you guys. Now, consumer surplus is just the difference between the buyer's reservation price and the market price. And so when we have a lot of buyers, what we want to do is we want to find the consumer surplus for each buyer and then add them up. And that will give us an idea for the total consumer surplus in a given market. So let's take a look at this particular market for vanilla ice cream. And notice this market only has 11 buyers. And each buyer has a reservation price separated by $1 each. And so when we have a normal demand curve that's just a straight line, it's essentially assuming that we've got a buyer at $10.59, another one at $10.58, another one at $10.57, another one at $10.56, on and on and on. And so it goes all the way down. And so we fill in all the gaps. And so when we have a straight line demand curve, it's essentially saying that we've got buyers at every reservation price. $10.99, $10.98. Another one here would be under there at $9.98. $9.97. And so in this case, we're just showing a market with 11 buyers, each with a reservation price separated by $1. And so let's say that we have movie tickets, TVs, something like that, where you can't buy a fraction of a good or a part of a quantity. And so that's sort of the example that's given here. If the market supplied one unit in this market, we'd have an $11 price and only one buyer would buy it. And if we had only 2 units in this market, it would be $10 price. If we sold 3 units, it would be a $9 price, on and on. Let's assume that the price in this market is $6. And so at $6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are buying the good at that price. So if the price is $6, this first buyer here is going to get a consumer surplus of $11, which is his reservation price, minus the price he has to pay, which is $6. So that's going to be a $5 surplus going to this first buyer. Okay, and I just showed you that. And so the second buyer, therefore, is going to get $4 of consumer surplus, his reservation price of 10 minus the price he's actually going to pay of 6. And so if we add all of these up, we're going to get 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And this last buyer here, he's not going to get any surplus, but he is going to buy the good. He just gets it exactly at the highest price he's willing to pay, what we call his reservation price. Now, if I gave you an example like this on your homework or on the midterm, the consumer surplus is this entire triangle here, the area below the demand curve but above the price. Because now this is the example where we've got many, many buyers in the market and they're all separated by some indistinguishable amount. And so this whole area is going to be the area of consumer surplus. And so if the equilibrium price is 2 and the quantity is 4, the last consumer, this person right here, we're saying there's some buyer whose reservation price is $2 and there's another guy right next to him who's willing to pay only $1.99 and he's not going to buy the good. So right there is the area of consumer surplus. And so you have to remember it's the difference between the buyer's reservation price, which is this demand curve. Remember, all demand curves are just a representation of the buyer's reservation price, and the price that they actually pay, which is the equilibrium price. And so this area here is the consumer surplus. And to find the area of a triangle, it's just 1/2 base times height. And so if we look at this, the base in this case is going to be 4,000 because that's the base of this triangle. The height is going to be 1. So 1/2 of 1 times 4,000 is going to be just 1/2 of 4,000. So 1/2 of 4,000 times 1 gives me a consumer surplus of $2,000. And so that's kind of how we're going to calculate consumer surplus, and that is something that you're going to be asked to do on your homework and probably on the midterm as well. All right.